Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another round of the World Championship Racing Grand Prix. This time we're here in Baku. I'm Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Jamie Amkasa. Elder, how are you doing?
I'm not too shabby, man. Yourself?
I am not too shabby at all, because we are here in one of my favourite tracks. This is, as officially confirmed earlier, and I'm sure you've got the figures, the longest straight on the calendar.
Yeah, it is. After that little kink turn 20, if you take that out, you've got about a 1,600 metre straight. If you exclude it, it's still one of the longest on the calendar, coming in at 1,200, tied with Yas Marina, Mexico and Shanghai there at 1,200. So yeah, a nice big long straight, lovely strip streaming to have.
Yes, indeed. So Hypers is currently leading the boards with 75 points. It's only 30 points clear, though, of P2, and it's just quite tight all the way down from there on out. Is when you get to sort of P17 onwards, where you're starting to see the 0 pointers. So Speedy, I7, Atrocity, and Blackbird. Speedy is here today, I believe, so we'll hopefully get to see him here. But Amkasa, straight off the bat, what's your top 3 prediction?
I hate you. Have I told you that?
I'm sorry.
Well,
not sorry.
There's only one person really to look at, isn't there? So far this season, he's the man that's been sat at the top every single race, which is Hype. Can't see anyone dethroning him here today. No Martin G. That's a quite important factor, I think, actually, in confirming that he will be sat at the top. I think Zerd will give him a run for his money, but Hypers will take it from Zerd, followed by Anyturn. Anyturn and Copy doing Anyturn and Copy things.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm with you on the P1. I think Hypers is definitely going to take it today. He has just been showing exceptional pace for quite a long time now. It's kind of become the norm. And similar to like in official F1, where if Hamilton had a race where he didn't dominate, people start asking if he's just falling apart, getting too old or whatever. And Hypers is sort of in the same sort of boat now, where if he doesn't deliver in a race, you start to ask questions like, well, is he having an off day? Is he ill? There's something wrong with him. So yeah, I'm with you. Hypers P1. Although your P2 of Zerd. Now, Zerd hasn't touched the game since last Saturday. Yesterday was his first race. He was racing with me. He was still fast. Don't get me wrong. There are certain things that you can't take away from a driver, and pace is just not one of them. But he fell out of shape. He had wheel issues as well. And so on that alone, I'm actually not going to put Zerd in the top 3. I'm going to put a Nickturn P2, followed by Reyna.
Fair enough. We'll see if that works out. Obviously, we were expecting Anyturn and Copy to do things that they do so well as teammates, give each other toes. And this is, as we said, it's got one of the longest straights it has the longest straight on the calendar. If you take out turn 20. And because they do these slipstream things, it works so well. And that's what we expect to see from them here today.
Yeah.
And giving us each other the little toes.
So, Hyper's made a mistake on this hot lap. He's on the hard compound tyres. I imagine that they'll be looking to go from the mediums to the hards. I mean, the hard's pretty slippy on this track in general, he's already found that out the hard way. He's already lost his right end plate. So, he's definitely not going to be setting the fastest.
They're doing
the toe as normal? Oh, they are.
Yeah. They've worked this one out really well today. And this is what's going to work for them even better. Is it just going to be just the right length? Look at that.
Oh.
That was judged to perfection.
Yep. I mean, a 1:37.2 this early on in a qualifying session is actually really, really fast. So, a Nickturn really showing sort of pace levels. Hyper's obviously showing a little bit of weakness, but, again, we can't take anything away from him. He is on the hard compound tyres. He also, made a little bit of a mistake and went off into the wall. It's fast, but I'm fully expecting this to improve as we go on. I mean, Reyna's done a 1:37.496, and he did that without a toe. So just suggest, we've lost Bird.
Oh, is that it? That's 6-3. That's ping pong. 18, 19 corners for those who are not in the know. 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
See, I'll find someone near it and see if we can see it.
Yeah,
Copy's on
I
his way,
can't
isn't he?
see anyone. Everyone seems to be...
Copy's miles away.
Oh, returns on his way, but he's slowly on his way. I think he's about to set himself up for that final. And by the time we get there, he's already gone. The yellow flag's gone, so...
Yeah.
Amkasa, I'm conscious. We haven't actually done a hot lap so far. Do you want to take it away with return?
Well, we might as well. This is not the best way to start a hot lap. Is it? I think you might bring this one in the pits.
He's in mode 0, yeah. No, he's going in the pits. Anyone else? Copy's coming in. He'll probably be coming in. We need to find someone who isn't on his way in. The return's just driven now.
Zed's
in mode 0. I7's in mode 0. Alright, we'll have to come back to that, since everyone appears to be doing an in lap now at the worst possible time. Where is he?
But he's miles away. But he is on his way.
Well, we can actually talk about Brownie whilst we're here, actually, because at the beginning of F1 2019, this guy was struggling. He just could not seem to get the game working for him at all. And in recent weeks, he's now been able to really pull it together. He's really started to pick himself up and go for it.
Zerd is about to start a fly, by the way.
Alright, go for it.
Go. Well, this is the aforementioned longest straight on the calendar. And hopefully not Max Verstappen and Danny Rick going into turn 1 and collide into the back of your teammate. Another left-hander. Don't take too much curve. That's the crucial part around the track. Take too much curve, you just bounce off straight into the wall. Second dearest detection point for that is just before turn 2. Come up now towards turn 3. Hard braking just before the 100 metres. A little over revving there. Didn't take too much curve, which was nice. Flick it over to the left. Now through the right. It's nice high curve there. Took just the right amount, I'd say. It can so easy to stabilise the car. Now into turn 5 and 6. Try and use everything you can. Then use the whole track. You don't want to use too much because a little too far there's a wall. Turn 7 is a nice easy one. You can just cut the inside off quite nicely. Up now into 8, 9, 10 and 11. The castle complex, that was close. But through he goes through 11 into 12 and now power down through what is nicknamed as Baby Ping Pong. You lose a little bit of front wing, you will find yourself in the wall most likely unless you take it ever so carefully. Through turn 14 into the hard brake and turn 15. Yeah, he's just hit that perfectly, that curve. You don't want to take too much, you don't want to take too little. And he took perfect amount through turn 16 and then power down. And he's now a straight shoot. No lifting if you've got a full wing through 18. This is Ping. That is Pong. And he kept his wheel on, high bird did. As he comes up through the kink of turn 20. Dearest point is just like that corner. DRS is now wide open, burn off all that ERS, and he's just judged that ERS to perfection. Crossed the line the second he runs out. Unfortunately, it's not the quickest time, but it is the quickest on the hards of a 39.4.
Yeah, he's the fastest by half a second as well, which obviously makes a huge difference. I've just seen, was that a racing point? I think it was. I just saw it go flying off into the runoff area. Yeah, it was. Grissy's having a great time. He seems to be struggling. Where's Hypers? He's currently on a flyer as well in the middle of the second sector, going for a good push, coming up towards Castle. See, the thing is about Castle is it's so sharp, right? Like, if you just turning a little bit too early or too late, the margin's just too narrow. You can't afford to make a mistake, and that's what makes it just so intense as an F1 driver. You're literally driving on the limit.
Yeah, I mean, it's only just wide enough to get a car through. You nudge a bit of the wall on either side. Oh, that was not way to say that corner. Yeah, that's a bit of front wing damage once again. I've seen a lot of people aggressively hitting that corner. While it is the fastest, it has that risk of it throws your car up in the air. And if you don't land it perfectly and turn at the right time, you just drove straight into the wall as he just done. So yeah, Brownie puts his P4 for now. And Hypers is coming back to the pits with still no time on the board.
No, indeed. I'm just looking to see where the two McLarens are. They're both out, and again, they usually do the tow. This time it looks like Nickton is prepping himself for a hot lap, but he's on zero mode ERS, sorry. Which suggests that he's prepping himself, but so is Copy.
I don't know if Copy's going to let him through at some point, or we'll see a split for any turn coming up to turn 16. That's the end of sector 2. We'll see if he's up or down at this point.
Well, he's in mode 0 though, doesn't...
Down by 2.7 seconds.
Interesting. I think now he's going for this lap. But where's Copy? Nowhere to be seen, so there's going to be no tow from the two McLarens, even though Copy is a little bit ahead.
There's going to be no tow at all. I think he's coming in the pits. So Copy's not going to benefit from anything on his run. And hopefully... Well, he's on the hard, so I mean, he's not going to be pushing for a P1 time.
No. So, Sloppy McFloppy is kind of like an unsung hero, I feel like. He's the sort of guy who is really fast. Like, there's no taking it away from him. He is a really quick driver, but there's never anything to sing and dance about. Like, you never see him, like, on the top 3. You never see him smashing the fastest laps out the window. But he is consistent, and he is quick. And today, I'm hoping... I haven't actually driven around the track with Sloppy McFloppy. He did find it quite difficult. He was actually getting a fair bit of damage, and I think this is probably going to be the track that is his kryptonite, if you like. But, you know, it can easily change.
Yeah, I saw him in 2018. He was a pretty decent driver back then. I think it's the first time I've seen him in 2019, so it'd be interesting to see how he handles this new game. But yeah, so where is Copy? He's still on those hards. Down by 2.5 tenths so far as he hits that curb. They do cut that corner quite fine, don't they? I'm surprised they didn't get more invalidated laps or more front wing damage.
I mean, they must have the ride height pretty high on these cars. I suppose you wouldn't necessarily need it too low. A lot of the corners here are 90-degree corners, so you can get away with that quite nicely, but I don't know. I find it too risky to hit there because, like you've seen Hypers, he's hit it every lap, and he's also ran wide most laps and damaged his car most laps. As Copy crosses the line, he does a 1:39.651, a second fastest hard tyre overall.
Not too bad. I guess kind of where he wants to be. Top of the hard times if he's going to stay on hards. And we'll see what they do. We've got 6 minutes left. Not quite at your favourite time just yet.
No.
Astro Boys is out on the lap at the moment, just going through Castle section nice and neatly.
See, Astro is another kind of guy that, you know, obviously he's an OG when it comes to WCR. He's been here since day dot, as far as I know. He's a quick driver, but he struggled as soon as line got turned off. Once line got turned off, Astro Boy's pace left with it, and he's slowly bringing it back. But I just feel like he needs to really put a lot of time into practicing the lines, practicing the track, and getting used to being out of your comfort zone. Because, look, turning a line off is fine when it comes to doing time trial, right? You can do time trial, you can learn the tracks, and you can just use your muscle memory. But as soon as you are slightly out of that normal line, you know, they don't know where to brake. They don't know how much they need to brake for, and it's something you can't just teach it. You have to actually just go ahead and practice it and just keep going over and over and over again. It's a gut feeling you need to react to. Yeah, exactly. Make mistakes, recover from it. But now I think we're safe to say we are approaching, if not in, the calm before the storm, as majority of the drivers are in the pits, and we've just lost another one. That is Gresu. I think that's ping pong.
Well, it is another Sector 3 incident. Copy's there now. I didn't see him, but Copy is just a bit far ahead of it now. Could have been a pit lane entry. We see a few of those at this pit lane. Just getting it ever so slightly wrong, you can just go straight to the wall, but nothing obvious.
No.
Returns coming there now. Car's gone though, unfortunately.
So returns on a flyer, it looks like. It's going to be a slow one though, not looking too fast. If this is... I mean, it looks like he's only just started, actually, having said that. I think he did a lap. I don't know if he was just uncomfortable with it or what. Yeah, he did do a lap. That's where that time's just coming from now. So 1:46.721. He's finally got time on the board. Jumps up a place as a result. Interestingly, though, Hypers has not yet set a lap time. And we only have just under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, he's got a one-shot qualifying on his hands. Ignore that yellow. That was Sloppy getting out of the way. Interesting the fact he's still sat in the pits on. Oh, no, he's just trying to say, just speak about it, and he does this change. I was supposed to say he's still in the pits on hards. No, he's now on mediums. So that gives up what he's planning on doing.
Yeah. Right.
It's
now,
interesting. We've got a complete mix.
Let's talk about strategies really quick. So majority of the drivers will be going to the medium tyres if they want to have a nice and easy one-stop strategy. Mediums to hards is definitely the alpha of the strategies, if you like. There is a risky strategy, which is the softs to hards. And the reason I say it's risky is simply that if you... Oh, that was close. And my heart stopped for a second there. I thought he was done. But no, he's kept it together, still going strong. But yeah, just going back to what I was saying, the softs really struggle, especially around this track. And in most of the tracks on the calendar, softs are more like a time trial tyre. You know, you could do a qualifying on it if you wanted. If it was official F1, you could do a Q1 time on it. But obviously Q2 is where you couldn't. Obviously Q3 is the better one because you're going to be able to do a one-shot with that at all. Obviously in these kind of situations, we don't do Q1, Q2 and Q3. We do a short qualifying. So it's just 18 minutes of just pure qualifying, which is why you're seeing a lot of the drivers sort of going for the medium compound tyres and trying their best to make them work. There are also a surprising amount of drivers that have decided to go on the soft compound. And that in itself, to me, spells disaster.
Well, we'll see how it works out. Obviously, they're of the opinion that the softs are the tyre to go for. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they may have knowledge of... There might be rain, for as far as we know, that comes in 10 minutes into the race, and they reckon softs are the best tyre to get to that rain, and the rest reckon mediums are the best tyre to get to that rain.
Yeah.
We'll see when it comes to the race. Just on board with Ice 7 as he goes through Castle. He's down in 10th on the mediums. He really needs to just get up sort of in the mix of those soft tyres. Going to go on the mediums. Displace a few soft drivers.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea if you could do that. Oh, that was El Sunny having a big collision there in Castle. He's still alive, but that's his lap time just in the bits. Still has enough time to get around though, and still has enough time to go again. However, the thing you got to think about is that he will be then 2 hot laps in on these soft compound tyres, and that it was already a risky strategy in the first place anyway. But now for him to be trying to do that here just doesn't help. And I've just seen a Renault wing on the is it Bulksands or is it Renault's? It's Bulksands. Bulksan has right. No, yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's Bogdan finishing at best P11 unless he can nail this. Did right through that corner. Be interested to see what he does. He might as well stay out.
Yeah.
Unless he knows he's going to be well down. I think he is going to be well down. He's ready at 35.
Is he going to be faster? Oh, it is slightly faster. But he's jumped up 1 place. A copy now, who is also coming up to the final bit, does have his teammate ready to give him the tow as expected. And Nick Turn is usually better at setting this one up and is looking perfect for Copy right now. This might see Copy climb up there to be right there with his teammate. Oh, he's got the DRS wing wide open as well now. Could have probably been a little bit better, and he's going to shoot only up to 8th. Although, having said that, there are a lot of drivers out there on the softs still. So yeah, second fastest mediums, but not fast enough.
He's not getting a tow now as a result of that. Rainer fastest. Just. Well, we'll see how that works. Hypers is going through turn 14 into 15 now. Can he get this corner right? Was that invalidated? No?
Well, it looks like it's alright.
If he's invalidated, I think he would have just straight up retired. He's got nothing to go now.
Sash was retired. He's not going to get any further than P10. Bulgzon gets knocked down outside of the top 10, so he can actually just start his strategy on however he wants. Maybe you want to go for the hards to mediums, which would actually work out quite nicely on this sort of track. But here, Hypers now, the man that we both predicted to be on pole. Is he going to be able to make it? He doesn't. P4 for the pole. Interesting.
He is on the mediums, though, surrounded by softs.
Yeah, that's true.
Why? I mean, it's a very split grid by looks things, which is interesting. What about Speedy? He's coming up.
It's crazy that we're in this sort of situation. Normally, it's just one strategy rules all, and these guys seem to have an opinion that, there's currently 2 alpha strategies at the minute. It's possible, absolutely possible. Let's see, can Speedy go faster? He cannot. Actually, slower by a 10th. Brownie, though, we've been talking about for a while. He's actually running with 0 ERS, so he's not going to be improving at all. Sloppy is in the pits as well. And that, ladies and gents, is the end of the qualifying. So Rainer in pole position today, with a Nickturn there in second. Speedy takes the third spot, and Hypers, I'm not going to say unsurprisingly, because he's still insanely quick in comparison to the other drivers on the mediums. Like, he's what, almost, what's that, 8 tenths, 7 tenths, I think it is? Yeah, 7 tenths, sorry. Between him and the next fastest medium compound tyre. And the fact that he's beaten 3 other drivers that are on softs, and they're not slow drivers by any stretch of the imagination. It's still, all it spells really is Hypers is just seriously quick.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he does at the start. That could be quite crucial if he gets caught by Brownie and Sunny coming off on those grippier tyres, then he's going to have to battle for a bit, and being stuck behind drivers might end up hurting his tyres more than he would have wanted. So we'll see how that works out for him come the race.
Yeah.
But that's qualifying.
And looking at the prediction side of things, I got 2 of the drivers in the top 3. I mean, realistically, you can still count Hypers in the top 3 if you like, based on the fact that he's on that tyre strategy. But yeah, Rainer and Nickturn Speedy, they are top 3 with Hypers taking 4th place on the medium compound tyre. Then you got Brownie, Sunny and McSloppy, they're 5th, 6th and 7th on the softs, with i7, Zerd and Copy the next 3, and they're all on mediums. Those outside of the top 10 are Astro Boys in P11 with Bulksign in 12th, Lemon in 13th, Return in 14th, and Aggressive and Bird. Neither of them got to set a time, but they do get the opportunity now to set their own strategy and work to their own strengths. And do you think it's going to be like a hards to mediums combo?
I honestly don't know what to expect. We do see a bit of rain here in Baku, so maybe that's what's on the cards. But it's not blue skies; it's cloud, but it's not heavy cloud.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I doubt there's a soft to mediums on here. I know you get a soft to mediums in Austria, but that is about it. As far as I'm aware off the top of my head, they may try it. I don't think they'll succeed.
No, I mean softs to mediums. I don't think is actually doable. Brownie is absolutely the sort of person you would expect to try and do that strategy though. And looking at it, he was on the soft compound tyre, so who's to say he's not going to try it? Although I think even Brownie in this occasion, I think even he's not daft enough to try this. I think he will go softs hards. Although the medium tyre is really comfortable on this track. You have the benefit of having the extra grip, and it does mean you've got a lot more confidence in the car, and ultimately confidence is what separates it all together. But here is the drivers and their tyre choices. So, obviously everybody in the top 10 has to start the race on the tyres they qualified on, so they're going to be worn in comparison to the others outside of the top 10. But you have the likes of Astro Boys and Bulkzan, who've both decided that the hard compound is the right tyre for them. Lemon, Return and Grissu have decided that the medium compound tyre is for them, and then Bird, who's currently sat in 16th, which is last place today, is starting the race on softs.
Yeah, interesting call there from Bird, but I'd like to say he knows what he's doing from back there. We'll soon see.
Well, he's going to need to hope that he can live up to his name and fly like a bird, because he is really going to be in with a very tough task today. To get from 16th into a good solid points position when you got the drivers in front of you all on what I like to call the alpha strategy, the mediums and hards, you can do the one stop into either tyre and still feel really good. It's when you start touching the softs on this track, the softs will disintegrate very quickly. Not necessarily because of anything other than the braking zones, of which there are quite a few hard braking zones. But also, you've got the ping pongs where they require a solid amount of grip, and you don't want to be losing that when you're going through the big ping pong.
Not in the slightest. Lemon had disconnected, but he's back in now. Hopefully, he's going to get back in for the race. He's 13th. He's not on the formation lap, though, so I don't know what's going to happen for him. But, yeah.
I don't think he is. I think he'll actually miss this.
I saw him join. He's not, as I say, he's not on the formation lap, so we'll see. I'm still trying to work out what Bird's planning. He needs to get the starter champions and end up in the top 10 at turn 3. And this is Baku. You don't do that.
No, you can't. You physically can't. There's just not enough track for you to be able to... Even if you get a god tier start, you're just going to be in so much trouble just trying to get through the pack. Your best bet here in Bird's situation is to sit back, watch the rest of the pack, stay close enough to still be able to capitalise on mistakes from the other drivers, but realistically your only overtaking opportunity is going to be on the home straight. You know, apart from if someone makes a colossal mistake, and then obviously go ahead and rip on through. But you need to keep it clean. You need to protect your wing, and you need to just have a nice, consistent lap time. Nice consistent lap overall in terms of line. So here we go, all cars are on the track. Just waiting for Bird and Grissu to just get into their boxes. There we go. So it is go time. We've not done predictions just yet, we'll get to that in a short while, but the lights are on and it's going to be all about this start here. Is Nickton going to be able to catch up to him? He's already looking for a move down the inside. This is going to be crucial if he can get it, but no. There's Rainer holding him off. Here comes Nickton. That was very close between the two, but somehow we are still going strong. No contact further downfield that I can see. Everything looks tidy enough. No collisions through turn 1 and 2. Let's keep an eye out for turn 3 though, because that could be easily where things could go very wrong. As you can see, here comes Speedy around the outside of it. Nickton is not quite planned out how he wanted. He was hoping to get a move around the outside and then get the better line through the inside. It didn't quite work out for him, and that's why Nickton stays P2. But he is slowly but surely falling off the pace of Rayner.
You got Bird has made his way up to 13th now, carving his way through the field. They did try and go 3 wide through turn 2. I think that was with someone who had a little bit of lag, so they got a little bit let off there. I think that was Zerd combined with Copy and Astro Boys, so I think lag might have helped them there.
Yep. I mean, I can confirm as well that Lemon is still stuck in the pits, so he won't be taking part in today's race. But I'm actually really severely impressed by how well these drivers are kept out of each other's wings and gearboxes and just sides. Yeah, overall. I mean, this is lap 1. So far, it's looking pretty tidy. Bird is doing what is required. No, that was wing damage. Who was that?
Definitely wing damage. Copy has lost front right. And I believe I saw another piece of wing, and I don't know whose it was.
Yeah, Copy's definitely got wing damage. That is pretty injured, is that wing. Astro Boys is good. I don't know if Return's got any damage. It looked like there might have been a potential issue there. Anybody going into the pits? Copy... He'd be the one I'd be expecting to go into the pits. And he's not. He's staying out, staying strong.
Oh.
Again,
Nickton, damage front right wing. Big mistake there on the turn 1 of all places. Just lost it on the curb, bumping it into the wall. And he's now got front right damage.
Wow, staying true to the McLarens overall as they're both having the same sort of issue. Lots of movements happening. Yeah, Sloppy, it looks like he's just falling back a little bit. Oh, there was contact there between Astro Boys and Zerd, but nothing more than just a little wobble. Bird now getting past Zerd. Zerd is having a bit of an issue today. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but if we look at the overall position changes, he's down 2 places, but Bird is absolutely flying.
Yep, Sloppy is in limp home mode. Massive wing damage. We're talking left, right, centre, you name it, he hasn't got it.
Yeah.
And Bird up to P9, battling with Sloppy's teammate Astro Boys.
He is. So. I mean, we critiqued him for his choice of strategy. We said, Softs, really? You can try this? Like, surely that's insane. But he's making it work. He's climbing through the field. He's doing exactly what is needed if you're going to start on the soft compound tyre. And right now, he's challenging for 8th place. Copy gets over on that curve a little bit more than he necessarily should do. Bird's right on the back of him now. He's going to have a better line through here, and he's going to have slipstream all the way down to turn 1.
Copy's got wing damage.
And, yeah, exactly, and Copy's got wing damage.
So this should be a relatively simple overtake. Oh, I just flipped away from that. I want to go back to it. Hyper's on entry turn for P2. There's a big gap to Rayner caused by entry turn's lack of front wing. And Hyper's up to P2. Entry turn can't really do much about this. And he's now down to P2. And you'll probably lose the speed on this DRS straight because it is enabled and it comes immediately.
So yeah, let's keep an eye on Speedy then as he's on the back of a Nick turn. Like you said, he does have wing damage. He does also have DRS to try and protect himself, so I don't think Speedy's going to be able to attack him here. The only thing that could change things for him is if Speedy had chosen to go into mode 4 all the way down this straight, he might have been able to look for an inside line. But oh, he's got a real bad kick out there from the back end. Speedy is going to need to watch those tyre temps on the rears. They are going to get hot if you keep doing that. And that will definitely ruin your race today.
Yeah, you kind of want to avoid any damage. Just get the car home at the end of the day. Don't have to come in for a wing change. That's going to be the crucial part. And with Enterturn already having that wing damage, Speedy trying to avoid it on the Enterturn's rear. Oh, a little bit of nudge. Enterturn survives. Speed just had a little bit too much speed into the back of Eniton. Eniton nearly losing out to Castle. That could have been big.
Yeah, that'd have been disastrous if we'd have seen a collision like that, especially considering how close those behind are, and there would absolutely have been more contact than just these two cars. We'd have seen more wing damage definitely flying away from the car. Bird he's past Copy. We saw that anyway, but he's now 2.6 seconds behind Sonny, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him. He's outside of the DRS range of Copy, so he doesn't have to worry about being attacked on, but he does have to worry about making sure he doesn't lose the pack that are ahead of him. If he can get onto the back of any of the back of Sonny, he will immediately be in the challenge for P3, which I didn't expect to be able to say that, considering how far down he was starting.
Yeah, just watching Speedy, I don't think he's going to be making moves this time on Eniton unless it's a late dive. It's not, but he's got Brownie all over the back of Speedy. I think Speedy gets past Eniton here, or he might lose out to Brownie, who wants to come past. He's on the softs as well. And I7 on the mediums just behind them as well. He wants to be part of this battle.
Yeah.
He's got a nice lead over Sunny already. That's
so,
good for I7.
Yeah, sorry. So the other thing I was just pointing... Are the softs falling away already? Because Sunny, like you say, is falling behind. Bird's doing well to bring himself up to the back of Sunny. So either these drivers have just been struggling in the dirty air, which is very likely. This is Baku after all. There's a track that when you're running in behind someone, you're going to get a lot of dirty air. Or is it just that they've been making mistakes, the setups hasn't quite worked out how they intended? You can see Bird, if you go on board with Bird, he's already eyeing up the back of Sunny. He's so close now to be able to get within DRS range of Sunny that when it comes to that home straight, I actually think he's going to be in position to attack. Yellow flag in sector 2 though, I'm not sure who that is. It's not Sloppy, it's not Astra Boys.
No one's moving down other than potentially Sloppy. But I don't think it's a case of the softs going off. I think it's a case of Eniton's lack of speed is holding people up. Yes, Hypers is closing up slowly on Arena, but he does have really fresh moves compared to probably Half-Life soft. That's the reason he's closing up, and he's a ridiculously quick driver. That's what's going for his favour at the moment. Yellow sector 2. Grizu is out. Where was that? I don't want to look away from this battle though.
Oh, and Nixon's really shutting the door on him. Speedy's trying to get through a gap that isn't there, and Brownie comes charging down the inside in towards turn 1. He's going to get two cars in one, and Nixon makes a mistake. Speedy's through, but Speedy gets a better drive out the corner. Now up in towards turn 2. You're going to see Speedy trying to take the inside. Brownie's going to try his best to hold him off, and he goes into the wall. Damage there from Speedy. I'm not sure how tragic that was, but there was a definite contact. Has he lost his end plate? He has. I think he's lost it.
I got the wrong camera angle to find out, but he's going to try and move back at Brownie. He's not, actually.
Oh, he's got it. He's still got it.
Has it? You've got a good camera view, finally.
But yes, Brownie is literally...
Oh, he hasn't got front right.
He doesn't, you're right. Good spot.
That might be from a completely separate incident. That might be why he's struggling to pass Eniton. He didn't have his front right either. I've only just noticed that. That might be the front wing I was looking for earlier. I saw one that I thought said Husky Chocolate, but it could just been... Because it's the same colour, isn't it? It's Husky Chocolate, red on... White text on red.
Yeah.
So that's what. Yeah, there you
go. Bird's caught up now to the back of Sunny. Sunny's only 1.4 seconds off of the back of I7, and Bird could easily go for a move through there. It's just now a situation of what can Speedy do to sort of hold on to the back of Brownie. They're both on the same tyres, just the difference is that Speedy has a lot less wing than Brownie does. Which will only really affect him that much when it comes to... I mean, turn 1 it'll affect him a fair amount. Turn 2 won't really affect him because it's quite a slow corner anyway. Ping Pong is where it'll affect him the most, and he needs to just make sure he can...
That's an lead. Hyper's just throwed the dummy at Reina and just walked around the outside. It was as simple as that. It wasn't even worth watching, to be fair.
Yeah.
Hyper's just had so much more speed. DRS is so powerful on this track. But pit stops for the softs are happening. They are the damaged drivers on the soft. So,
are they going to go for a new wing, do you think? I think they have to, surely. Yeah, well, there you go. That's Speedy in having a new wing, and Nickturn is also having a new wing, so no surprise there. Yellow flag in sector 1, is that Sunny?
Oh, that is. Sunny's just gone straight on there at turn 2. I think he might have gone straight on and then retired.
Yeah, he did.
And he's already left the session, so that's not good.
No. That means his car's back on the track, but overall, that's really, really bad. You don't want to be in those sort of situations. You can tell it was a frustration sort of retirement. There's no way that it would have been anything other than that. But Bulkzan is getting up to the back of Astro Boys now, who's actually not that far off of the back of Return. Return could easily make a mistake, and then Astro Boys will be breathing down his neck. But as it stands, it's Bulkzan who's all over the back of Astro Boys. And at the minute, you got to ask yourself the question, is it actually worth me sitting this close to his gearbox, given the fact of how much aerodynamic grip and just mechanical grip I'm going to lose going through this very difficult, very technical area of the track? But at the same time, you don't want to lose the position or distance, if you like, to the car in front.
Yeah, it's quite tricky, these corners. He's got no grip, no downforce. Oh, big mistake there from Astros. Holds it, but is right having Bulkzan run his tail now. As I just saw a 5 seconds, that ended turn 5 seconds.
I thought it was a 3, but yeah, Nick Turn definitely got a penalty. And I mean, where is he? Down in P12 in the minute. Ultimately, he's going to be looking at sort of a P4 before the penalties applied. But here we go. Bulkzan is now on the back of Astro Boys with the wing wide open. And just a second, there it is. He's already in mode 4. He's been sizing this up for a few corners. I think it was actually sector 2 where he's like, I could get him here on the home straight. Now he's actually passed him, coming up towards turn 1. Astro Boys is now in a position where he can attack back as long as he doesn't make a mistake in towards turn 3. But there is traffic that's just come out ahead.
Yeah, Rain has just come out the pits. He's just ahead of Return. So that's not really going to cause so much traffic just yet. But it will mean Bulkzan could try and stay out of the wall. But yeah, he will have less downforce. When you step behind the car, the dirty air is not as effective in giving you the downforce, the grip you need through the corners. So especially on these fast corners, if you're trying to follow another car behind you, you'll just lose grip. You lose the back end potentially if you don't paying attention to it.
Yep.
Through the slow corners, it's less of an issue, but obviously 5 miles an hour is a big difference when it comes down to it. If the guy in front of you has got 5 miles an hour through a slow corner, more speed than you, because he's got the grip, then he's going to get more speed on the exit. But then you'll catch up through slipstream, so it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Return's in the wall. Return has returned to the darkness. And I think this might be a pit stop coming up.
Or a straight retirement.
Yeah. It's only got front and left damage,
today.
But he's got to be careful because people are going to be trying to come past him.
There's a lot of frustration retirements happening. So that's 3 we've seen now. Oh, the 2. I think the first one was actually just a straight up retirement.
This might cause a safety car. He's right in the track still. Because there's nowhere for him to pull over on ping pong.
Nick Turn almost runs straight into the back of Speedy. I thought that Nick Turn was going to properly bin that. He managed to just slip through a very small gap that was going on there, and he's lost another place. I7 is up now into P8, and Nick Turn's race is just going from bad to the downright awful right now.
Has he just got more damage? I've not seen it.
I think he's damage free. He used the runoff area, but he is definitely struggling. I don't know what it is specifically that's not working out well for him, but honestly, at Nick Turn, this is so out of character for him.
I think because he's had to pit so early, he needs to now make up time, and he's just pushing himself. And maybe he's pushing himself a little too hard to try and get back to where he thinks he should be, and where he should be, that's up at sort of the Brownlee position. So, yeah, he just needs to now push and drive as hard as he can without taking everything out of those tyres, because these tyres are going to try and go to the end. Whether or not they will, we'll soon find out. But it's interesting that softs and mediums are stopping around the same time, except for hypers.
Well, I think the reason the mediums are pitted is purely just they don't seem to have been looking after them properly. This track in particular does require you to be accurate, not just for your wing's sake, but for your time management. If you don't accurately attack the corners and just make the most perfect decisions, you'll easily eat away into your tyres. You'll easily find yourself in a position where you end up having to go to the pits way more often than you thought. And right now we're seeing Speedy very quickly coming up to the back of Bird. Does have DRS, but he's in mode 1 on the ERS. He's going to be looking for a potential overtake in towards turn 3, or from turn 2 up to turn 3. It's going to be Bird's decision to really make if he can hold on or not, and that's down to this exit here. If Bird gets a better run, as you can see he did, Speedy really did not like the exit there. A little touch with the wall, but I don't think there was any damage to worry about.
No damage there on the Toro Rosso, but the only damage really is that he didn't get P6. So he'll now just hang on to the back and hope Bird doesn't catch up to Brownie. Because if he does, then he'll get his own DRS. And on that home straight, as we said earlier, 1,600 metres from turn 19 to 1. That excludes the kink of turn 20. Longest straight on the calendar. You don't want to be under pressure.
No.
Bird's got to catch up to Brownie to save this position, I'd say. Or make Speedy make mistakes, which I think he's doing a fair few of at the moment.
Yeah, Speedy's really not having a great race so far. I mean, he's not done bad. Let's have a look at the position changes overall. I mean, he's currently down 4 places, so he's not done bad in terms of other than that, but he has actually had a pit stop as well, whereas you've got 3 people up above that have not yet done that, 2 of which were ahead of him at the time of when were behind him when he went for a pit stop anyway. And now you're seeing Speedy actually within DRS range of Bird, and Bird is not within DRS range of Brownie, and now it's going to be Bird's going to have to try and shake the slipstream if he wants to protect himself from Speedy. I think Speedy might be living up to his name a bit too much for Bird to handle.
Well, he's got a good lead, though. That's the thing. He had 0.7 coming off the corner, and that's what's helped him hold this position for now. Brownie is ahead of Astros, and Astros is now in DRS of Brownie's speed. That didn't really look bad, but 3-second penalties. Oh!
I am confused.
You're not the only one. I think he's lagging because I've just seen him do it again.
Yeah, same.
I caught Copia, that's for sure. Copia's just taking front wing damage.
I am confused.
You're not the only one.
Alright, let's just quickly look away and look at Bird.
Copia's just taking front wing damage and all of that. Just drove straight into the wing. I think it was put off by the laggy Speedy, who has now disconnected, but it's still there. Hyper's the penalty. But he's got a 20-second lead at the moment.
Yeah, he does, but he also hasn't pitted yet. I think the pit stop is around 21 seconds, so it's not looking too bad for Hypers. Hypers was ahead of Rainer when Rainer decided to pit, but man, that was a very tense moment there. So I've heard from Speedy, his game crashed.
That's not a lot of good.
Now, the interesting thing is, even after that massive collision with the wall, he's still got a full front wing.
Well, if you're not in the game, then the AI doesn't lose front wing as far as I'm aware. But Bird on the rear of Astros now, half a second. This should be an overtake from Bird. He's in mode 4, Astros is in mode 3. Bird doesn't have much ERS, and the easiest overtake Bird will do today.
Honestly, it was like Houdini. I looked down, so I looked at Bird, and I could see Astro Boy's in front of him. I looked down at the ERS levels of Bird, and he also has a yellow fuel warning light, which I was about to start talking about. Then when I looked back up again, Astro Boy's was no longer in the screen. I had no idea where he went. It was a full-on magic trick, and it took a good sort of 5 seconds to work out what happened. But yeah, there he is. So Astro Boy's having usual Astro Boy's issues, which is pure down to game stutters / network-related issues, and that's why he's fallen down now to P6. We said it before and we'll say it again, if Astro Boys did somehow manage to find a way to fix that and didn't have these issues, I actually think he'd be right up there battling with the bigger boys.
Yeah, he could be a quick driver if he didn't have connection issues, and it's a bit sad to say that when you think about it. The driver we often think about, who's now we know is ridiculously quick, is Crow. We knew he was ridiculously quick before, but he was plagued so often with connection issues that it hampered him every single league race he ever took part in. And now he's got a shot in the big time. You're thinking, well, look, if you can beat these guys with those connections, what can you do when you've got everything fixed? And same's looking towards Astro Boys. Yes, okay, we're not talking that level, but Astro Boys could still be getting close to podiums, if not on the podium, most races, if it wasn't for his connection issue.
Exactly, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. As we can see, i7 is coming up to the back of Astro Boys as well, on the area of the track that we saw Bird get gifted an overtake there on Astro Boys. Hopefully i7 is actually challenged a little bit here down the home straight, and it's not just Astro Boys lagging behind a little bit, but As it stands, no lag in sight. DRS wing is about to be activated on i7's car, and I think no matter what Astro Boys does here,
Astros
I
has
think
it
this
as well.
position is about to lose.
Astro has it. He's going to hold it just... No, he's lost it, but he's still holding off Eddington for now. Oh, Eddington taking advantage of that. Coming down the inside into turn 2. He's taking it, but Astros will have DRS. Eddington will also have it as well. But Astros has double slipstream, or nearly triple slipstream, to try and hold to the back of these guys. He's on very old tyres. He's not stopped yet.
Yeah, he's. I think this is it now. I think Astro Boys will sort of hover around the P8 mark. I don't think we're going to be seeing him improve much more than what it is right now. Still, you know, it's not over yet. We don't want to count him out before the race is even finished. But, you know, although somehow, Nickton is back behind Astro Boys.
I guess Eddington has some leg issues then. I looked down and looked up and, oh look, he's done it as well.
I don't... this whole race feels like a big magic show. Like, honestly, I have no idea. We've seen Speedy go flying into the wall twice, do the exact same line twice, and not get damage on either occasion. We've seen Astro Boy... Oh, Astro Boy's gifted the position back.
Yeah. Well, some drivers do that if they feel that they got the position unfairly through lag, they give them back, and Astro Boys knows that if anyone had lag to them, it will be in front. So it's a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's a shame it didn't go the other way around. Yeah, I was going to say, it's a shame it didn't go the other way around. We've seen Astro Boys gain places, and people have not given it back. Bulks and Brownie swapping places. Brownie now up in a P3 and on much better tyres overall, considering... I mean, how many stops has he had? He's only had one stop, Brownie. And he's only done 5 laps on these hards, which is, you know, great stuff to see. And he's always the kind of guy you would expect to push the tyres a little bit further than normal. But yeah, like I said earlier, when we talked about the soft to medium strategy and whether or not you can try that, even Brownie's not that crazy. Even he's gone for softs to hards.
No, I don't think anyone's really that crazy. It was just a thought I had as i7 comes through. Bird, little nudge in the rear. Oh, is he going to give that position back? No, he's not. He's taking that and running.
They both have
i7, I think
missing...
that's retirement.
They both have missing... And oh, he is. He's retired. Oops, I've just hit the wrong button. Wow, he exited so fast. There's no way. Now, the thing to keep an eye on is if Zerd's FPS starts playing it with all these people leaving. But it's looking alright. He's still smooth. But he is down in P10.
Yeah, just wondering if he was going to cause a safety car. Is that i7 going straight on again? I don't know. Sorry, I was talking to myself there.
Okay.
Well, Zerd is on the back of Copy, so if he's having lag issues, then he'll struggle to get past. Copy's on the back of Speedy, who is an AI, and then in turn picks up more penalties to add to his woes.
Well, not just that, Bird went over that curb pretty severely, bounced right off it and went over towards the outside wall. Nickton followed up a little bit, took it a little bit too early. That's where he got the penalty from, and then immediately just went straight into the back of Bird, and that was it.
Oh, Copy hits the wall. Copy has still got that front wing damage. Zerd, I don't know if Zerd's got any. Is that why he's struggling to get past? No, he's perfectly clean. And Sloppy wants to slice this. This is for the last of the points positions as well for Sloppy. He wants this position. I think we can see a double on Copy here.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be much that Copy can do about it. Zerd is now ahead. That's why Copy's obviously trying his best to hold the inside line, but here comes Sloppy down. Actually, Sloppy might even go for a move on Zerd as well. Zerd comes across and stops Sloppy from getting through. Sloppy then has still got the opportunity to size Zerd up in a run up towards turn 3. Sloppy's on the medium tyres, remember, but he is on much older tyres overall, and you can see the way that he was handling that corner. Zerd is now just pulling away, and there's not really much that Sloppy can do about it.
Zerd's got DRS from the AI of Speedy, which is helping him. And when he gets to him, he doesn't need to try and overtake, he can just drive straight through him. So that's what really helped him on that straight. As the AI Speedy has some issues at the corner.
Yeah. Bird and Nickton. Bird is having an absolute nightmare of a race through here now. He had a really solid start, gets onto the hard compound tyres, and it looks like he's just caught out by how slippy these tyres actually are. You can see, if you watch the way that he takes the run through the castle section, the chicane there, you can see he really struggles. And again, just bouncing off the curb and flying over to the side. And while all of this is happening, Hypers is just saying fastest lap after fastest lap, and he's taking off.
Well, Hypers does have a 3-second penalty. This is only small worry, but he's got 5-lap fresher tyres than Rayner. And a 6-second lead. Anyturn now making moves on Bird. This is for P5. I've gone the wrong way, and he's through. Bird fancying a little dive back. He's slotted back into the slipstream. No ERS left on Bird's car. Look at that. 10% going to turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, at Nick turns there with 87%. We know him quite well for looking after his ERS levels quite nicely, but we also know that when he gets onto the offensive, he very much easily loses out. So now it's Bird's opportunity to hold on to this whole situation. In terms of tyres, he's a lap younger and on the same compound, so he should have the ability to be able to hold on to the gap. He needs to break Nick Turn's ERS levels down in order for him to be able to make a successful pass in around about 4 or 5 laps time, because he also needs to look after his own ERS levels and bring them back up slowly but surely.
Yeah, and everyone has now stopped. Who's left in the race? Copy's gone for a second. The only person that will stop again will be Sloppy from this point, hopefully. Boltzan comes out on some fresh mediums. He could be a bit racy towards the end. 8 seconds off the back of Bird, so he'll be fancying a battle for P4 with Boltzan. I don't think Branny's probably well out of reach for him, unless Branny has some serious issues. But Enturn already on 6 seconds of penalties could be quite crucial for Boltzan. I don't expect Zerd will get to that level, but yeah. So Enturn needs to up his game and try and avoid any more penalties before the end of this race, or it could be a big drop for him.
Yep, it really could. So Bird on the back of it, Nick Turn again has DRS and slipstream, but the thing he's not really sort of paying attention to is his ERS levels. His fuel warning light is on as well, which tells us he's really not got enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. He could fix that. There's plenty of laps to fix that. But in order for him to remain competitive, he needs to stop draining all of this ERS. He's 6% on Bird's car. And Nick Turn had to burn a fair bit there, but he only went down to 73% after the braking zone, and Bird is on 11% before the braking zone of turn 2. And even after that, he's 16%. And he's back up into mode 4. He's just not got the ERS levels to work with. He needs to sit in mode 0 throughout so from turn 3 onwards until you get to mini ping pong. You do not want to be in any ERS level other than 0.
He's left it in mode 1 at the moment. I mean, there are some little straights, but you need that ERS for the home straight, and he's recovering a bit, but he's burning off so much. Even just leaving it in 1, he's not recovering as much as he could. And now he's shifted out to mode 3 for a moment. He's going to really start struggling towards the end of this race.
Yeah, he really is. He's got a lot of work to try and pull off here if he wants to hold on to a P4. I mean, the thing is, either way, no matter what happens, he's had a really good run today to be able to bring himself from P16 up into P5 right now. And even if he stays here throughout the rest of this race, that's still really admirable. He absolutely should be feeling pretty confident and pretty proud with his racing standards. However, obviously there's a very strong chance he's going to be under review from the stewards due to the contact he had with I7. Obviously, we're not here to judge and not here to sort of give our own opinion on that, but we are here to talk about the racing that's on right now. And again, Bird, mode 4. Charging down through ping pong, and Nictor makes a little bit of a mistake there. Just has a little tickle with the wall, but nothing too tragic. Slipstream will be a massive benefactor here for Bird, but again, I don't see this being any more than getting to the braking zone, and that's it.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep in the DRS then eventually turn.
Oh, something to know. Something to know. Nick Turn is missing the right end plate again.
Well, it's. I think most cars have missed their right end plate so far this race.
Bird, however, is not though. That's what's interesting about it.
Yes, he is.
Am I blind?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm blind. Oh, he is. He very much is. So at least they're on equal terms now. Nick Turn was pacing away throughout the whole area of the final sector.
How long
now.
have we gone for, though?
I didn't see him actually. I can imagine it was probably when he had the contact with I7. That would be where it was. Copy though says fastest lap time. He is on the mediums, but it's still a 41.3, which I think the previous best, I'm going to have a look now, was 41.7? No, 41.5. That was what it was.
Sloppy's gone for a set of softs. I think this is Copy's way of saying Sloppy's way of saying I'm going to be P11 today, because I'm not even sure those softs can get to the end from that point.
9 laps. I mean, you'd be really pushing it, but definitely going to mediums would be the alpha tyre strategy to go for right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's going to be in for a really rough ride. And Nickton, though, he's about to really have a rough ride. Oh, except for Bird just got on that curve a little bit too early. Bounced straight off of it. I get the impression that Bird is running really low ride height, just thinking about how the track is. But I don't think he's thought about the fact that you need to ride some of the curves pretty severely in order for you to pull it off. And you can see now he's already on the back of it, Nickton here. Wing wide up and now mode 4. Again, look at his ERS levels. He's on 4%. On the run up towards the home straight. He's not yet got to the braking zone, and that's it. It's, you know, it's gone so quickly. And now he's going to be in trouble because at Nickton we'll be able to just use all of his ERS levels if he really wants to and just shut Bird down.
Mo 4 now. Ayrton is going to go for it, but Bird got a decent drive off the corner. Now he's in front of a guy that he didn't need to overtake, with no ERS. And while this has been happening, Bolton's been closing up little by little.
Yep.
So Bird needs to shift it into 0 for vast majority of this lap, just to recover as much as possible. Because you might need it in 3 or 4 laps. If maybe one small mistake, Bolton's going to catch up. Bolton, who's probably got perfect wing despite just a little bit. Trying to see his wing.
It's all good.
Okay.
Full wing then. Definitely not blind this time around. All end plates are there. All elements are there. And he is really eating into that time. I thought Bird was just about to break the DRS zone on at Nickton. But again, he's just having to take it so much slower through that entire few corners. That's why you can see it. Nickton's brought himself back towards it again. 7/10 is the gap. With that less bit of wing, yes, he's going to have less turning power. But he is going to be a lot thinner on the ground when it comes to drag, and so now he might actually be able to attack, although he's held back on the ERS levels for a while.
Yeah, he's only gone to 3, but again he's still going to be quite low come the braking point, and now he's shifted into mode 0 fortunately, so he's going to have a little bit more than he did last time. He actually lifted off in the middle of that, didn't get to the braking zone, lifted off like he forgot where to brake.
I think he's now trying to lift and coast in order to try and recover some fuel, because he's not got a lot of laps left now. He's only got the 7 laps, and that, yeah, I mean, we can't obviously see just how far out he is in terms of fuel. If he's even, as it stands, he's not going to make it to the end, but we don't know how much by. And that's the thing that he knows right now is exactly what he needs to do to try and pull it back. The question is he going to be able to deliver that whilst not losing pace to Nickton? And considering the gap just seems to be getting larger and larger between Bird and Nickton, I think he's struggling.
Not any turn he's got to be paying attention to, it's bolt turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a 6-second penalty. He can let him pass and just use the slipstream and DRS to save fuel and the ERS. He's got to be watching for Bolton, who's now 3 seconds off the back of him and coming very quickly.
Yeah, he's charging. I mean, the other issue that Bird has is he can't really talk to his Jeff to ask the information about Bulkzan, so he has no idea exactly how fast Bulkzan is, or that he's even coming for him. He's only going to find out at the point of when he is past at Nickton, and that is going to be too late by that point. He's not really going to be able to attack. He's not going to be able to have conserved enough in order for him to really pull away, and you can see now where we couldn't see Bulkzan before, we can now see him in the back shot coming up even faster. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Bulkzan and Nickton, and Nickton knows he's in trouble anyway because of the penalties, but Bird has no idea what's coming for him.
Yeah, well, Ennison's got a bit of slipstream. That's going to help him because now Ennison's 50 racing Zerd. Zerd's down in 7th, a fair bit off at this precise moment in time. But still, I mean, if Ennisson loses 1 second somewhere, Zerd is going to be right in that mix. So he needs to keep an eye on just driving as quickly as possible. It doesn't matter if Bolton gets ahead. It doesn't matter if they walk off to this. He's now battling Zerd. P6.
Yeah.
That's his battle.
So Zerd having a bit of a nightmarish race, to be honest. He's going to be taking these tyres all the way to the end, but he's only sat P7. he's not quite in range of a Nick turn just yet. He's not the furthest away, but he's still got a fair bit to go if he wants to try and improve and get himself within a Nick turn's pace. And whilst a Nick turn has this damage, Zerd has the opportunity to do that. And Bird, honestly, I think if it stays like this, I think Bird deserves driver of the day.
I'll tell you now, it won't stay like this. Because Bolton's going to come. And he's going to come quickly, and he's already up off the back of Ettington. Ettington's into the wall, big tank slapper. Bolton says, "Oh, thank you, I'll take that one." And now he's up on the back of Bird.
Did you see?
What I just said?
Yeah. Did you see the amount of wing that came off of Nick Turn's car?
I saw a little lump.
Little? It was almost the entirety of his right wing. If you look at that right wing now, I'm pretty certain that Nick Turn's coming into the pits here because this is going to be a disaster for him. He will be changing himself onto the softs. Yeah, here he is. I think realistically, he's got no choice but to go softs now. He's going to have to try and recover everything. He will come out just behind Speedy, right ahead of his teammate Copy. So it'll be a McLaren battle for P9, realistically. But Copy has also got wing damage from the early situation. Oh, I think he might have actually repaired it.
Oh, Copy's closing off Speedy. Speedy's an AI, don't forget. So quite easy to overtake him. And Bolton and Bird are starting to have their little battle for P4. Zerd is coming up slowly through these guys' battle, but he's just not going to be coming fast enough to be a threat to these guys unless they battle off for the rest of the race, these two.
Yeah.
And Bird is still yellow fuel, but he's covered a bit of ERS now.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the difference between the two, Bird actually now is in a unique position. Bird has more ERS than Bulkzan. However, Bulkzan actually has a lot more fuel than Bird. So Bird's in a situation now, he's got 4 laps to go. I need to think about the fuel, so I'll bring that back up to the 0.00 at best sort of situation. Sorry, at least is what he needs to do. Bulkzan's hitting that curb beautifully. His ride height is clearly a little bit higher than Bird's is, as Bird is terrified of that curb, and trust me, I can relate. Bird's gone deep. This is going to be Bulkzan coming through. Bird has played this very smartly, so he looked to me exactly like Bird let Bulkzan through. And the reason being is because now Bird has DRS. There's the detection line.
I hate this tactic.
And here's the activation line. So now Bird can easily come back at him. It is a, you know...
It's dirty. It's not in the spirit of the game. You don't, oh, I've made a mistake. Oh, sorry, I've lost the position. Let me take it immediately back off you. I absolutely hate seeing it. Because it's just... It feels like cheating to me. Absolutely hate seeing it. One of the worst things I see in F1 is that. The other is corner cutting on an out lap because you're too late at getting out the pits.
Oh, there's contact. Oh, that's an end plate gone there for Bird. I mean, it was already gone anyway, but now he's got an element missing as well. So now his left-hand turns are going to be a lot harder. The one to watch out for is his entrance to Castle. You are going to need that left-hand turn in order to be able to get through it without a problem. But you're going to see Bullock's who's already going to fly away anyway as soon as he got past Bird, but Bird just did everything in his power to try and hold him back. It didn't quite work out, and he's struggling here. This is the area where he's going to find it the worst. I think we might be seeing him coming into the wall. He's took it gently there, but look at the time he's losing now. Bulkzan is just running away.
And it's bringing Zerd back into it. Bird will now most likely pit. He doesn't have to by any means. He's still... I don't know, what would you do in this situation? You're about to start lap 24 of 26. You've got dead front wing. You've got rather old hard tyres. You know if you stay out, you could finish ahead of Astro Boy. If you come in, you're going to be behind Enturn on soft. But could potentially get back at Astros and finish the race.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got front wing damage, what would you do quick?
I would definitely stay on track.
Just stay out.
If I had the information that I have right now as a spectator, I would absolutely stay on track. The gap between Zerd and Astro Boys is 11.5 seconds, and ultimately you're going to stay clean ahead as long as you don't make massive mistakes and end up with more wing damage and potentially even a wheel loss. Then you're going to be fine. The difficulty you're going to have is getting to that end point. There's a lot of areas where you can make mistakes, a lot of areas where you can very easily bin it, especially with the fact that he hasn't got the left-hand turn as much as he needs. as Zerd comes flying past Bird. Bird's not really got anything he can do or say about it, and I think he knows now this is Operation Limp Home mode. Get myself back as safely as possible, try and bring myself home as neatly as possible, and weirdly enough, Asteroids is still actually falling away from Bird.
Just have a look at Asteroids. He's not AI. Does he have some damage of his own? Looks alright. So maybe he's just taking it easy.
Fine. Yeah, I think he is just cruising. I don't think he's really pushing that hard.
These mediums are quite old though. But then again, Sloppy's done 14 laps on his, so they are getting on a bit. But
yeah,
I think if Astro Boys knew what was happening up ahead, he might try and go for it. And maybe that's one reason why he's not going for it. He's just lost the back end coming off turn 12, just got too much on the curb. I think he just grounded himself actually on the top of the curb.
Yeah. So it's looking like a very comfortable P6 for Bird, which is not bad. Copy's made a mistake by the looks of things, yeah, through Castle, and that is again more damage on the right hand side. It has been a nightmare race for the two McLarens. Copy sitting in the final points position ultimately, but it still hasn't actually managed to get past the AI of Speedy, interestingly. I think, if I remember correctly, I think both the drivers that are below Speedy will get moved up a place due to the fact that Speedy hasn't been able to do the majority of the race. However, AI Speedy holding in there, P9 right now, 20 seconds behind at Nick Turn, but 3.5 seconds ahead of Copy, and Astro Boys has made mistakes and let Nick Turn through.
Yeah, Astro Boys defended the inside and just had to go a little bit deeper into the corner, and so just sort of drove the normal racing line and didn't really think twice about it. He just drove straight past him. There was no overtake as such. Astro Boys went really deep and the gap opened. Yeah.
So,
it looked like anytime didn't even see him.
It's early, I know. We're a couple of laps early. We have not even got to the end of the race yet, but I'm going to ask you early because I'm thinking about it and I'm actually struggling. Who would you say is the driver of the day as it stands right now?
As it stands right now, let's have a look. That's the wrong camera. Where am I going? What am I looking for? Position changing. It is looking like Hypers, isn't it? Just because he's finished so far ahead. Yes, okay, we expect him to win, but yeah, he's just nailed it.
Yeah.
Boxman's done pretty well as well. 8th to 4th. Oh no, sorry, up 8 places to 4th. Bird's currently up 10, 16th to 6th. Yeah, words. So I mean, it could be any of those really. You just look at the gaps at the front. Hyper's 18 seconds off Rayner. Rayner is 26 seconds off Brownie. Those guys must be bored at the moment. There's just no one to race.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's separated by quite a huge margin, you know. The only person really is Zerd, sort of just hanging in around 2 seconds. He might actually get close enough if Bogzan gets a penalty. No, he's even falling away from that. 2.2 seconds now is the gap between Bogzan and Zerd. So I think it's going to finish as is. The only person who is going to lose is that Nick Turn's going to lose a place to Astro Boys due to his 6 seconds of penalties. So yes, Astro Boys did lose that place, but that's it.
Sloppy will take Sloppy for what will be P9. Fresh softs. Not if he does that, he won't. He looked like he's just forgotten how to drive. Oh, he's getting out of the way.
Yeah, Rayner coming through. So Copy is in a position now where he can go for the fastest lap of the session. He's been lapped already, we already know that some time ago, but Copy realises this is his last ditch attempt here to get the fastest lap. If he does get promoted into P10 due to Speedy being an AI car, then that will take the point away from a few other drivers. It necessarily isn't going to benefit Copy directly, but it will benefit a Nick Turn, as a Nick Turn is the sort of guy you would expect to be battling for the championship.
Yeah, until you come to a place like Baku.
Yeah,
and then your wing.
Yeah, or your whole everything about Ed Nick Turn's just been shut down here. Oh, Astro Boys!
Oh,
where's he gone?
Baby ping pong. Gotta be. I'm on board with Speedy at the moment, 21 seconds behind. And he's got 21 seconds to go.
I think it was the braking zone. Yeah, yellow flag that. There he is. Yeah, look. That is a big crash. So, and like Nick Turn has been gifted P7 there. He was going to lose it. absolutely going to lose it, but somehow he's managed to keep all of it. Now, we need to go back to race leader as he's coming around the final few corners now. After such a flawless race, he has brought himself onto the top step of the podium, 20.5 seconds clear of P2. Considering he started in P4 and on the medium compound tyres, he's shown that not only is he the fastest guy on the track today, he's also shown that the one-stop strategy from mediums to hards is alpha, and there he is across the line. That's 25 points in his pocket. I'm just going to double check the fastest lap, which is currently set with that Nick turn anyway, and that might actually get taken away by Copy in just a moment.
Copy is on his way. He's behind, well, he was behind Rayner, using that slipstream and DRS. Rayner's going to come across the line first. And Copy is well off the pace.
Yep. Way off the pace.
Must have made a mistake. He was in the DRS of Rayner on the first DRS straight and then finished like 5 seconds behind him.
So, Brownie, now the next car to come up towards the line, and this is just a symbol of just how separated the drivers actually were overall. Brownie now is going to take the third step of the podium, a good, what's that, 35, 36 seconds late, actually way more than that, sorry, 40 plus seconds behind race leader. I could actually just go to, right, there you go, 46.5 seconds is the gap. Bogdan takes fourth, with Zerd taking fifth. Bird is going to come across the line and take sixth, with a Nick turn in seventh. Obviously, a time penalty affected him. Won't really cost him any places, but obviously that does knock him further down overall. So, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Have you decided who your driver of the day is going to be?
I say this so often, and it's always true. I don't like doing it. I don't like giving it to the race leader, but I mean, he completely controlled it. I don't like giving to him. I mean, Boltzan and Bird did great efforts to get to where they were. Yes, okay, they were helped by so much damage for other cars, so many DNFs. But Hypers, he had the most boring race I think he's ever had. He got out to the lead eventually. I know he took him a few laps into it, but yeah. I don't like giving it to the leader.
No, but I think you're right. We have to give it to Hypers. Yeah, he got a 3-second time penalty, but he did start from P4 on the medium compound tyres and then just dominate the race from that moment forward. Rayner did well, started P1 and finished second, so still pretty good. But here is the race rundown overall. It is Hypers taking the top spot with a very convincing win. Rayner takes P2, Brownie taking the third step of the podium with Bulksan there in fourth. Zerd takes fifth with Bird in sixth. Nick Turn taking 7th after a really quite dramatic race from him. Speedy taking 8th, although he'll probably get demoted down and outside of the top 10 due to the... Oh, well, he'll actually get 10th place because Astro Boy's DNF'd. Sloppy McFloppy and Copy are 9th and 10th, although realistically 8th and 9th. And then your DNFers are Astro Boys, I7, Return, Sunny, and Gressu. Well,
I think Astros might get P10, by the way. Because he
did so much of the race?
Yeah. He completed 9% of the race distance, or 75%, whichever is required, and he was actually in the race, unlike Speedy. But I mean, that's not for us to decide. That's up for the stewards. So we can come up with our own ideas all day long, can't we?
We can indeed. But that is it for the World Championship Racing Grand Prix here in Baku. I've been Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and this has been Jamie Amkasa Elder with me as well. Thank you as always, Jamie, for commentating with me. You are an absolute lad. And we'll be back again next week, where we are in Spain.